Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays for you in the Tier 7 American light tank, the Lycan T71 DA. Now obviously this is one of the monster tanks that you can pick up in the Monster Hunter Earn-Op that is currently going, so I thought, hey, why not show it? This first replay is a replay that I'm showing purely because it's cheeky. You're going to see the cheekiness in a minute. And the second replay is a really nice game. So the Lycan, it's a solid Tier 7 light tank. It's basically the old school T71 DA. And why do I say that? That's because the Lycan came out before they introduced Tier 10 light tanks, so it's still got the stats of the old T71 DA, because basically the Lycan was a T71 DA, but they just made it a premium and included it for the Monster Mash. So it's still got the old statistics, which is why its matchmaking, got there in the end, is wonky. So it has wonky matchmaking, so the best... pretty much what the matchmaking is going to be like for you a lot of the time is you will always be in a tier 8 game, because you have -1 plus 2. So you do have weird matchmaking in this tank, and that is because naturally it's the same tank as the T71 DA, but it's just flat out better than the tech tree version because it's the old school stats that the DA used to have when it faced tier 10 tanks, like this tank used to. But now, naturally, it only sees up to tier 9 tanks, but because it's got the old school stats of the T71 DA, they've made it so that it can't see the tier 5s. And to be honest, if it saw tier 5s, this tank would be absolutely mental. It would clip them out really easily. Well, actually, maybe not so much these days with the HP buff, but it'd absolutely be mental. So yeah, most of the time when you play this tank, do expect to be against tier 8s. You're going to be bottom tier most of the time, right, with the T1 DA, the Lycan. But the tank is great fun. This 6-shot clip is great. You've got decent camo, you've got good view range, because on this tank you do have 400 meters view range, which is ridiculously good for a tier 7 light tank. A lot of them have got like 380 at this tier, or a bit less than that for tier 7. So 400 is great. You've got 335 meters of still concealment as well, which is pretty nice for a tier 7 light tank. So you can kit this out to have pretty damn good camo and also pretty damn amazing view range, which is the way I set it up. And as you can see in this first game, we have been extremely cheeky on... I've never really done that on this map, where I've managed to get into that position like that and just stay covered. And managed to get 2.8k spotting from it as well. Those guys that are in their base at K2 must have been thinking, what's spotting me? What is keeping me lit here? And we were in a very cheeky... That was a cheeky place to be. And it worked out for us in the end until we ended up getting proxy spotted by the guy that ended up down at G23. So what do I run in terms of a crew on the Lycan? Pretty standard lower tier light tank crew. I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun. So this is a crew that I generally run on a lot of the tanks that are lower than, say, tier 9, pretty much, on the light tanks, because you get the best out of your camo with this, and you also get the best out of your gun. A lot of the time when I'm in a tier 9 or 10 light tank, I'm probably either getting rid of something like a Snapshot or getting rid of the Muffled Shot to add trap mechanic, because in the lower tiers it's not as much of a thing in the lower tiers, because if you're getting shot at and you're getting tracked, you're probably going to die anyway because you don't have many hit points. And so I just focus it on everything else, right? Whereas in the tier 9 and 10, you have a lot of hit points. And if you can reduce the amount of hit points you're going to lose when you get tracked by having trap mechanic when you've already burnt your repair kit, that's why I run trap mechanic instead, right? And then in terms of equipment on the Lycan, because it does have an autoloader, you can't run a loader. So I run the optics to get the best view range I possibly can, the vertical stabilizers, gun stabilizers to get the best out of this gun as humanly possible, and the camo net to get the best camo I can out of the tank. So with that sort of setup, I do have 282 meters of still concealment, which is really nice, and you've already seen is quite good when you get to sit in a bush. It basically took them to proxy spot me at that point to be able to get me out of that annoying position. And then you also have 512 meters of view range, which is really filthy and great for a light tank, because that boosts the amount of spotting that you can get, because you started to value people's camo. So yeah, in this first game you've seen so far, we've got up to 2.8k assistance, we're up to 1800 damage, and that was the end of the game. So we finished the game with a decent total, finished with the epic victory. We come top on the team, 5 kills, 1841 damage, 2.8k assistance, the first class, the Scout Medal, and 1850 base XP. A pretty damn decent game for the Lycan. Just an absolutely cheeky one, to be fair, because I was just like, you know what? When I saw the 3 tanks that were coming into the middle of that bowl, I saw them coming and went, I can't tangle with them, and I'm not going to be able to get out very easily. you know what, let's be cheeky and see if we can just sit in this bush and not get spotted. And lo and behold, it just worked. They couldn't see me for ages, and we managed to get a good amount of assistance for our team. And then when we did get spotted, we managed to come in and then drop some shots from our clip into that mill. And now we're on to the second game, the final game of the replay. The video? Replay video. We're on the second game, and we are on Highway. And on Highway in the Lycan, you know what? I'm going to do something really unorthodox, something that I would not suggest. This game is from a little while ago, but as you can tell, because there's no ribbons, it is from a little while ago, but we are taking the middle of the map on Highway. We've just managed to decimate that poor AMX Chaffee, which is a rare tank. You don't see that very often these days. Managed to get rid of that poor guy. We're up to 575 damage, 769 assistance, and that poor little light tank's gone. So yeah, this is the thing that I wouldn't recommend that often, because if you take the field on Highway, a lot of the time they send a fair few tanks along the 1-2, and you just get trashed. It's far too easy to counter you. I mean, we managed to get rid of the tank that would have countered us there, which was the AMX Chaffee if it got under the bridge. But, yeah, there's too many ways that people can counter you when you try and take this field. And to be honest, you can lose your light tank very, very easily just going this way. I would always recommend just basically sitting at DE9 and just staying around there and trying to spot the people crossing the JK, win the town, and then cut off the people that do cross the riverbed from this side, pretty much. But as you can see, it's worked out for us so far. We've managed to get into a good position to start farming out the damage, and we've caught out these M56 Scorpions. They were looking our way, so I'm just being very, very careful to not get blind fired, because we are firing, you know, we're an autoloader. We're firing a lot of shots very, very quickly, which means it's, you know, it can be pretty easy to pinpoint our location for those tanks, and they will start to hurt us. I'm just waiting for them to get spotted, and in fact, you know what, we pop a blind shot to see if that M56 Scorpion was still there, and we do get both shots into that guy blind, which is glorious. We're up to 1,323 assistance with the 870 spotting, and we are just waiting for our clip to go back in, sitting in our bush, and then we can farm out this M56 Scorpion. We get one into him, two into him, blind. I was hoping that maybe I'd spot him up again. There we go, we spot him up. We pull back behind the bush, well, behind the tree, so that we got as much camo as possible, but unfortunately we end up missing the shot into that M56. Just trying to manoeuvre a position, but unfortunately we hit the map border, so we can't quite get the shot into that guy, but he does drive forward. We get a shot into him, finish him off, and then we've got one shot left, which isn't enough to finish off this M56, but the atomic is going in on that little Scorpion to shut him down, hopefully. Maybe, possibly, or Randy will do it, either one. And we're just waiting for our clip to go in while we're moving up. And Randy does end up hitting that M56 twice on the move. So we're going to move up now to try and attack this heavy tank that's still in their base at G1. And hopefully we'll be able to get some decent shots into him. We've still got a decent amount of hit points at the minute, which is good. There's the HWK-12 that's still in their base as well. We get a shot into him. Just hoping that he'll drive over and give us another shot, but we are detected, which means we're being looked at from somewhere else. It could be the HWK, to be fair, that's looking at us, so we're being very, very careful. He ends up driving over there. We go a shot into his side, which doesn't track or pen him, and then we do get one straight through his upper hull. We go for the reload instantly because, well, we may as well. We've got a bit of a down period. If you've got a period like this, there's no point holding on to 3 shells. I know that by the time I close in on someone, I'm going to have the clip fully reloaded. I may as well have a full clip of damage, right? As you can tell, it's before RT 2.0 as well, because the artillery has only 360 hit points. But we can kill both these guys in one clip. So we go over, the GW Panther shuts down the GW Panther, take the 240 hit from the HWK-12, we shut him down, we start to get some shots into this Black Prince as we're on the move way past him. We don't want to stop, we want to basically get ourselves into the very next dip so that we are safe from that Black Prince. So we do get away from that guy. We've now got Randy and, well, we've got Randy coming in behind him, and, oh my god, the old school GW Panther. Old school GW Panther pens the Black Prince for 1,000. Thank god that can't happen anymore. Oof, that poor guy. And we did get some of the spotting on that, which is nice. Randy shuts down the T71 DA, and now there's a Shashka coming. We get one shot into the Shashka's tracks, doesn't pen him, but we're just going to keep backing up now, because the Shashka is spotted, and if we keep backing up, it's going to make it hard for him to spot us. We get one into him there, we've got one shell left, so we're going to pull forward to see if we can spot the Shashka. There he is, aiming, and we end up getting the kill on that Shashka, up to 3.3k damage with 1800 assistance. There's only 2 tanks left. There's a TD and the heavy tank. Can't quite see the back end of the Lerva. The Audace is currently, I don't know what he's doing. He's sort of attacking the 2 heavy tanks. And the likelihood is we're not going to get there to get the kill, and unfortunately, we don't. But we finished the game with a really nice total for the Lycan. We're finished with the victory. 3 kills, 3.3k damage, 1800 assistance, ace tanker, the high caliber, the sniper, with the 1919 base XP. A really nice game for the Lycan. It's an assassin. You want to try and catch people out with the autoloader, dump all 6 shells in, and get out of dodge, and then use it to be spotting, because obviously you have very, very good view range for a tier 7, and you can get a lot of assistance for your team that way. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Great success!